Hey, MCARBO Brotherhood. I'm Chris Nelson, President of MCARBO. Really excited to introduce our new line of rubber adhesive grips. This is textured rubber to give you a little bit more grip on these polymer frames. A must-have, considering the polymer can tend to be a little slippery, not really designed to give you that nice rubbery custom grip feel. It's kind of a hard plastic. So the nice thing with the rubber adhesive grips is they just stick right on there. I'll show you how. Real easy to do, and they last a long time. Now, one of the cool things about what we're doing and just the way we operate in general is we don't ever like to leave you guys hanging. So if you ever get the grips and 5 years from now you're like, man, these things are a little ratty looking, I want some more. Well, then you just use our 50% off lifetime warranty wear and tear replacement. So you pay 50% of whatever the cost is on a new set of grips. So you don't have to buy the grips over. You already bought them once. We're gonna go halfway with you. We're gonna pay half the cost, get you the grips you need. We want you to keep coming back. We want you to use grips on all your firearms with us. So this is a good way. Put some extra grip on there, little no risk. A great way to upgrade that firearm. Not to mention, it's one of the primary shooting fundamentals. You need a good grip. Nothing worse than having your grip slip and throwing a shot. Nobody likes to use that excuse at the range. Oh, my grip slipped. Well, put some good grips on there. You don't have to worry about that. So really excited about these. We're offering them for everything. So I'm going to show you all the different variations that you might run into, especially with the sub. We're starting with the Sub-2000, naturally. Let's get on over tabletop, put our grips on together. All right, so these are the type of grips you're going to order here. So pretty much all roughly the same with minor variations between the frames. So Glock 1923 right here. All right, so this is a smaller frame, so naturally going to be a different grip. Now it does have a metal collar. This is what the metal collars look like. All right, you can see there, metal. All right, you could tap it with something here, that little ting-ting. That's how you know, but it's smooth, all right? Now, don't judge. These are our range, shooting, testing guns. Now, this is one of our R&D guns, all stripped naked. This is a plastic collar here. These new collars that KEL-TEC is rolling out, but right now they're only using them on the multi-mag frames. So if you've got a new multi-mag, then you're gonna have a plastic collar most likely. If you're not sure, you can see right there, it says multi-mag. It allows you to change the magazine catch, obviously, so you have a ton of different options for which type of mag you want to run. But a new multi-mag is going to have a plastic collar. It's got this kind of cylinder look here, whereas a smooth collar, just smooth, and it's metal. All right, it's a real easy way to tell between the plastic and the metal. So when you're ordering the grips, it does matter what frame do you have. Is it a Glock 1923 like this one here? Or is it a Glock 1722 like this one here, full-size frame? All right, so those are the two options that you need to look at. Now currently, with the Glocks, everything is a metal collar at this point, and the latest and greatest from what we heard from KEL-TEC a couple months ago is it'll be that way for a while, until they get through all of these frames that they've made. But as far as the multi-mags go, they're gonna have that plastic collar. So if you got a multi-mag frame, you likely have a plastic collar if it's new. If it's older, then you may have a metal collar. So you need to pay attention to that, which one you actually do have, and that'll dictate which grip you get. But all the grips are the same. They come with the pistol grip wrap, covers the front and the sides, and then you have a custom back strap here. And they're all relatively the same. Laser cut, proprietary textured rubber adhesive material, which is awesome. Feels amazing. Feels just like what you'd expect on a nice rubber grip. Half the cost of something like a Hogue grip or anything like that that slips on. Not to mention, these don't slip. These don't move. These will actually mold into the plastic and really give you all that textured feel underneath as well. So that's really cool. So we'll show how to put these on. Love them. Really great way to quickly upgrade your Sub-2K. Parts and tools needed for this build. Obviously the rubber textured grips by MCARBO, which come with the alcohol prep pad. You're gonna need that to clean the grips really quick. We're just gonna let those air dry. Then you're gonna need a heat gun or a hair dryer. This is overkill right here. You do not need a heat gun, especially one this fancy, but this is all I had for the video, and it's that simple. As always, we're gonna check our firearms together, make sure they're clear. I love this about the Sub. It's folded in half. You can check it real fast. Check the chamber, check the bolt face, check the magazine well. This firearm's clear. All right, so we get started by taking out our grips. Give them a quick look over here, make sure this is exactly what we needed. We'll go ahead and just wrap them around really fast to make sure these are in fact the right ones. Do your own little QC real quick. Not to say that we are prone to making mistakes. That would only be human. We're just gonna test everything, and there it is. We're just gonna test everything, and there it is. So nice, good fit. We got the right one for the Glock 1722 frame. Now it's as simple as cleaning the grip. So we'll take our little alcohol wipe here. You get one that's included. It's really all you need. The whole point is to just wipe down the grip really well. All that gun oil, dirt, grime, dust, you name it. Anything that may have ended up on your grip. This is going to assist in making sure that adhesive gets a nice, solid bond to the polymer, which is exactly what we want. We don't want them peeling off for any unnecessary reason. Make sure you get the back strap too. And you can kind of see I'm putting a good amount of force on it. I'm almost like scrubbing it a little bit. Any kind of grime that may be ground into that polymer, I just want to get it out. And you can see it's a little dirty. So definitely spend just a couple minutes cleaning it really good. And then we're just going to let it air dry. We're not going to do anything special because that alcohol will dry relatively quickly. We don't want to rub it with a towel and put any lint or anything else on there that doesn't need to be there. So it's nice and cleaned up. You can see there's a little bit of dirt and grime on there. That may surprise you. I thought this is relatively clean, but there it is. So we'll let it dry for a second. Now that our grips are cleaned off and hopefully dry, you can take your hair dryer or your heat gun, and I'm just running this one low, and just kind of warm it up a little bit. It's also going to speed up the drying process just in case the alcohol hasn't evaporated and dried yet. Definitely the idea, you know, it's like 130 degrees, about the temperature of a warm cup of coffee. We're not trying to melt our polymer here. You can do that with your heat gun. Couldn't do it with your hair dryer, so you're safe. I would use a hair dryer for the video if I had one, but nobody's drying their hair here at the office, so I'll have to find out why. Anyhow, so here you go, just kind of warming them up, making sure they're just kind of warm to the touch, and that's it, so that's plenty. All right, so we're gonna start with the grip first, and you'll see the grip, you may have these little hole cutouts for the screws. You just pop those out. A little extra freebies. You could add these as little touch points somewhere on the firearm, give you a little point of reference, things like that, but you can also throw them away too. So the goal here is to wrap this around the front, just like so, and what we'll do, you see those V's and that seam? You can see that seam line right there, so we're gonna line up those V's in the seam line, and then we're gonna wrap it around, not stretch it. You just wanna kind of press it around gently to make sure you get everything lined up, because you can see there's a ton of features here. Not only do we have to get it centered up front, but we also have to get it over the holes centered, right? Because we do want to be able to take this apart again in the future. Now that's another point I know a few guys will probably mention, because we do have a lot of parts of the sub. You can always run a little tiny slice down the middle here to take your sub apart in the future. Not going to be a big deal when you put it back together. It's just you'll have a tiny little partition there. But it will stay stuck to the frame. And if you screw it up, we had the 50% off replacement, so it doesn't matter. You're covered. So let's go ahead and we're going to peel off the backing. Now, something to pay attention to is the edges. Try to touch the edges as little as possible. Touch in the center, because the center's got plenty of adhesive around it. If you touch these edges and you just kind of wear them out before you get them on the frame, it's just going to cause you problems. We don't want the edges peeling. That could easily lead to problems if we wear out the adhesive on the edges. So we will take it, touching the center, and we're going to line it up just like so. Notches in the frame. So you can see how I've centered it vertically on the grip here, little gap up here, little gap down here. All right, so I've got it all centered up here. Now when we make this wrap, we need to give it a little bit of tension. We're not really stretching it, but we're just kind of nice, good, even pressure, because we want to make sure we center up those holes right there. So you can see that's pretty well centered up. You know, I could peel it back up and try again, just to make sure I get it completely stretched and centered. And that's somewhat of your point of reference, your guide as you're going through this process. You want to make sure that you get the holes on those screws lined up as best as possible. Same with the other side. So we're going to go ahead and wrap it, and we're going to just kind of pull it. I don't want to say stretch it, but we're just kind of pulling evenly until it gets as centered as possible. All right. Also want to check the edges down here. You can see I'm a little bit off, so I'm going to peel it up and pull it kind of up and to the right a little bit until I'm exactly where I want to be. You just don't want to stretch it like crazy. You may feel a little bit of elasticity there, and we've got these little cuts here so that it'll get all the air bubbles out where they would naturally try to form as you're wrapping textured rubber around your grip. That is really good. You can see the edges have a nice little buffer right there, so nothing to worry about right here. All right. We're doing our quick little inspection before we permanently attach these. You can see everything as far as function goes is clear. Free range of movement on that mag release. Looks perfect. Mostly centered on those screws. There's always a little bit of variation here and there, so it's just a matter of how tightly you wrap it. I think that's pretty dang perfect right there. It's going to get us right where we want to be. No air bubbles. I'm kind of checking and feeling to make sure it feels nice and snug. Now I'm going to go ahead and finish the job. So I'm going to go ahead and press down these edges back here. You can see how those little notches really made a nice difference on making sure we didn't have any air bubbles or any gaps. All right, go ahead and get this side now. Pressing it down. Now don't worry just yet. We're going to use some heat to make sure these are nice and evenly. Make sure that adhesive really molds to the polymer. Does a nice little number when we put some heat on there. All right, now we're going to take the back strap. Back strap always goes arrow facing down. So we'll place this in here. You want to have the back strap positioned so that your web of your hand can fit and have some grip on top of it. So you can see how there would be some grip on top right there on the web of my hand. So you don't necessarily want to put it way down there. You want to have it centered. All right, so we're going to peel that off next. All right, so now we just need to peel off our backing on the back strap. You can see that adhesive there. Really nice adhesive. Really bonds nicely under a little bit of heat, which we're going to put here in a minute. All right, so back strap, arrow pointing down. I'm going to start with the top because I really want to make sure that I get a good amount of coverage up here where the webbing is on your hand. And all you're going to do is follow that seam line all the way down, getting it centered right where I want it. All right, I'm following that seam line, just kind of tapping it a little bit so that I'm not fully committed on the adhesive. I can move it if I'm not perfectly straight. All right, now I'm pretty much ready, so I'm going to go ahead and really press it down. All right, now we're going to go ahead and get some heat and really grip it. So we'll heat it up, give it a nice gripping all the way around, and then heat it up again. We're going to do that 3 times. All right, so go ahead and fire up your hair dryer or your heat gun. I've got the heat gun on low here. We're just going for about 130 degrees. You know, it's like what your coffee mug would feel like with a really hot cup of coffee in there. What we're doing is allowing that adhesive properties inside that adhesive wrap to really warm up and contour and mold to that polymer frame, which is really nice. It's going to help give it that custom feel, and it's also going to help ensure that it stays on your pistol grip. Nice even heat all the way around. Especially on those edges. And all we're doing is heating it up for about a minute. We're just kind of moving our way around the pistol grip, making sure that it's all evenly heated. Get that back strap good. All right, I'm just gonna leave my heat gun running. Now I'm gonna grip it. All right, it should feel nice and warm to the touch. And you can already see how it's contouring. See that? You can see that pattern showing through, which is exactly what you want, which means that adhesive is heated to the perfect temperature to really contour and mold itself to your frame, which is amazing. It's really what we spent a lot of time doing on this custom proprietary textured rubber adhesive. You know, this is something we had to develop and make sure we had an excellent set of adhesive that would grip to this type of polymer. You know, there's a ton of polymer guns out there nowadays, so it's a great upgrade if it sticks. So, key aspect. All right, we're gonna heat it up again, and then we're gonna put some grip pressure on it. We'll do that 3 times, and then we're good to go. And then it's just a matter of letting it cool down for about 20 minutes. You know, you can keep playing with it, but you obviously don't want to do anything that would start to rub the edges that may make it peel. Not until it's fully cooled. Getting the back strap and the edges real good. And on this pass, we're really going to focus on that. We're going to make sure we really pay attention to those edges and press them down. Lots of good pressure on them. Let them fully bond to the polymer. All right, same deal. I'm going to focus on those edges real fast. All the way around. Especially that back strap, which looks really cool, by the way. I love this back strap. Really gets that web nice. You can see how we have plenty of grip there on the top. Man, this feels good. All right, even 2 hands, really grip the crap out of it. Make sure it's fully compressed. Lots of good pressure. No air bubbles. Leaving no chance for that adhesive to come off. We want to make sure it's fully bonded to that polymer. Nice, good, feels amazing. And you'll know how good of a job you're doing if you can see the gator grip. You're right on track. All right, this is our last pass here. Hair dryer works perfectly fine. Probably will do a better job. You won't have to worry about melting anything. I mean, I'm running the heat gun on low, so it's really not necessary to use a heat gun. Heat gun's doing a little cool down setting now. All right, so we're done. So I'm just really gripping it. Go ahead and fold it out. Really grip it all the way around. Making sure that adhesive is nicely bonded to the polymer. You can see all that gator grip showing through. We did a good job here. And that feels amazing. Really make sure those edges are fully pressed down. You don't want to leave any room for any dirt or anything to get under that adhesive. So check those edges really well. That's it, man. We are done. Feels good. Well, there you go, guys. A really custom grip and feel for your polymer frame on your KEL-TEC Sub-2000. We've got every possible option that you could think of for your Sub-2K. Definitely be sure you're getting the right one. There's so many variations in the frames now from the factory for the Sub, so it's definitely important to, oh, that feels good. I don't know how we did it without it. You can see all of our range guns now have these on it. It's just so important to have a good grip. It's one of the primary shooting fundamentals. You can't have a loose, sloppy grip and expect to be accurate round after round, punching daylight through targets. Good grip is a very key fundamental. This is phenomenal. The adhesive works really well. Proprietary custom textured rubber adhesive that, perfect. I'm really excited about these. We've got a ton of them coming out for all types of polymer frames, so stay tuned for that. 50% off wear and tear replacement. Nobody does that. We do it. We don't want to leave you hanging, man. If you wear these out, hey, good for you. It's your reward for going out and shooting, getting some good practice. Even if you screw them up during the installation, that still counts too. All you gotta do is just roll them up, throw them in an envelope, mail them back to us. We'll send you a replacement, 50% off what we'd normally sell them. So easy, fun way to really up your game and really give you some solid grip on your plastic polymer frame. It's really easy to slip. Hands get sweaty. You got some grease, gun oil on them. These plastic polymer frames really don't provide a lot of grip there. So it's a nice way to really customize your sub, give you that premium grip performance that we're all looking for, making sure that we're really getting the most out of our firearms. Easy, fast way to do it. Thank you, MCARBO Brotherhood, for your ideas and your support. And as always, happy shooting.